Charles Band, and I'm the, I guess, creator of Puppetmaster, the series now, even though they're all features. I got started in this crazy business. I grew up on a movie set. I was lucky enough to have a great father who made all sorts of strange movies, spaghetti westerns, and a few horror movies. So anyway, I grew up in that culture, and I love sci-fi fantasy horror films, mainly horror. And then in my early 20s, I found a way to, I guess, steal enough money to make my first horror film, which was called Mansion of the Doomed. So yeah, it was a great first experience. And many, many, many years later, after I had made movies like Ghoulies and other movies like From Beyond and Reanimator and Troll and all sorts of strange films in the 80s, by 89, I formed a new label, Full Moon, and the first movie was Puppetmaster, which came to me in a series of sort of ideas over the years. The idea of why not have a guy who's the master of these sort of evil, but maybe not so evil puppets. And we finally, in late '89, shot the first Puppetmaster film, which was released in 1990.
And now a box of little has become a gang of little terrors.
They were very expensive because it was one frame at a time. You had these models that were not difficult to use, but very laborious. It took forever. I mean, to have 6 or 7 stop motion animation shots in a low budget movie back in the day was very expensive. And those shots, even to this day, even though they may look a little retro to some, are some of the more magical shots in the first Puppetmaster. Now, the other technology we use is rod puppetry, which again was more difficult back then because unlike today with CGI where you can eliminate the rods quite easily, we had to usually hide the rods. So a lot of the early Puppetmasters, those scenes were shot on sets that were built 6 feet above ground. So we would hide the rods through furniture and through the floor, but it was so successful, and Paramount at the time wanted so many more that we began to make them every couple of years. As you start working with the same characters, you learn more, even gross things like how best to eject a leech out of Leech Woman's mouth. Leech Woman, as an example, was probably the most gross scene in the film for some, and probably the most well-loved scene because we got a great reaction. So when we were ready to shoot the second Puppetmaster, we had this meeting and Paramount said very nicely, look, we love Puppetmaster, it's a big success, but you can't have Leech Woman in the next movie because she is just too gross. Because of that, we wanted to invent another character, and we invented Torch, which is far more ambitious to shoot on set because, again, no CGI back then. So when Torch shot a 20-foot shot of flame, that was real flame. So from '89, when we shot the first Puppetmaster, to earlier this year when we shot Puppetmaster Axis Termination, which was the 11th Puppetmaster, we've sort of stuck to our 6-shooter guns, and we have not used any CGI.
What is this joke?
So as far as creepy things that have happened or haunted moments during the making of 27 years of Puppetmaster films, it's hard to believe. There have been things that I've heard about, and one thing I kind of witnessed, one of them is in Puppetmaster 3. A fellow came up to us who looked, I mean, you know, either this was a gag or this guy was genuinely creepy. And he came up to me and Dave and he pulled out of his pocket a picture of the Bodega Bay Inn on the coast of Southern California. Now, the Bodega Bay Inn, for people who watch Puppetmaster, it's a fictitious location. The great David Allen built a model that's the size of a desk, which was gorgeous. That's how you did it back then. Anyway, this old guy pulls out a photo of the building. It was not our angle, and it was on the coast. And he said something to the effect of, I lived there for years. Yeah, this is not fictitious. I lived there for years. And he showed us this photo, and it was a freak out because I don't think he had a way to put it together. It was a different angle. It was our Bodega Bay Inn, which doesn't exist. And then he left. I mean, I would have so liked to steal the photo, but he left with the photo. So that was the freakiest thing that happened to me that I saw with my own eyes. So thanks for listening to all this. My name is Charles Band. I'm the Full Moon guy. You can watch all these movies and more. And like I say, every other day new movies are going up on the Full Moon channel on Amazon. And hopefully, little by little, Amazon all over the world. So that's the plan at least. And thank you.